Hi everybody, and welcome to my guide on how to install C.O.B lighting on the Ikea Billy bookcase that I'm using at the moment for my Lego display. The link's in the description from the site I managed to get the light set from. I ended up going with the 5 meter x 6 natural white. I thought that was probably the best look for my particular case. You can get 3 different types. There was like a really bright white and a warm white. I didn't think the warm white would do any good really with Lego. So I went for the middle ground, and I need 5 lights really for the size display I've got. So I thought if I got a 6-pack, then I've got 1 spare, which is always handy in case I ruin it or do something wrong. I did a little video recording what the website looks like and how you go about ordering it, but the link's in the description. It's AliExpress I bought it from. I should also say that I'm in the UK, and the only choice of plugs was a US or an EU plug. I decided to go for an EU plug, and then I just went on Amazon and bought a travel adapter, a travel converter, which has done the trick. After a few days, this is what arrived. And I think it took about 4 days, maybe 5 days to arrive. It was really, really quick. I wasn't expecting it, especially from China. But first thing I did was get it out of the box, plug everything in, make sure it all worked as I was expecting. The little dial that you see, a little disc, is like it's a conductive touch pad basically to switch it on and off. But I just wanted to make sure the lights was working as I'd expect, and it all worked fine. I was really pleased. Next thing I did was just use a bit of sellotape to stick it around the inside of the main Billy bookcase. I wanted to see whether the 5 meters would be enough and whether it'd go all the way around and how far it would go. But I think this was the point where I decided that I needed 2 sets of 5 meters on this particular case, just to make sure it goes all the way around the outside. 1 5 meter was just short of it, unfortunately. Now's the fun of emptying the case. Now, I never actually intended to do a tutorial or any of this kind of video, so these videos I'm recording at the moment are not the highest quality because I was just doing them in case I made a mistake. At some point in the future I had to come back as a reference and remind myself what I did. So you can see here I'm sort of looking around the case, looking at the top of the case, and it's really only for my own reference, just to see where everything went originally. I'm at the point where I'm about to pull stuff off the wall and do all the wiring, so I just wanted a reference point. But from the videos you get to see what it looks like on top and the space we've got behind there. I removed the doors to make things a lot easier, and then I used a bit of masking tape over the top sections of where I'm going to be drilling. The main thing is because it's the white sort of melamine material, I didn't want it to crack or damage, but you'll see in a second that didn't really work out. That didn't go to plan. I started off with a 6mm drill bit because I thought that's probably enough for the plug to go through the hole, but it wasn't. It needed an 8mm. I don't know what that is in metric, but it's an 8mm drill bit I needed. And then once I had that, the connections went through fine. So this is where you can see the mistake I made. I think drilling from the top down was just a massive mistake, and it split it all on the underside. But drilling from the bottom up was the correct way of doing it, because it gave me a nice clean hole underneath, and all the mess was on top of the cabinet that you couldn't see. This is the fun bit really. Once you've drilled the holes to the top and fed the cables through, you can then start peeling off the backing and putting the C.O.B lighting around the outside edge. I don't think it took that long. I think maybe about half an hour, 40 minutes to do all the sections really, but I was just being a bit methodical when I went round. I wanted to make sure it all lined up as precise as possible. I think if I was planning this from a flat pack, what I should have done is I should have cut a small groove into all of the shelves, just in the corners. Even just a couple of millimeters in each corner would have meant that the lighting would go behind the shelves and tuck in nice and neat rather than sit on the front of them. In hindsight, I would have definitely have done that if I was planning this, but it's too late for me at this stage. I just did what I needed to do. So this is one of them really cool features of this lighting setup. You can actually trim them to size, which is one of the reasons why I really liked the idea of them initially. They come with this weird wire at the end. I'm not an electrician by any stretch of the imagination, and I'm sure as hell I'm not going to mess around with them, but I think that means you can sort of tail them one after the other and have a 10-meter cable or a 15-meter cable, I guess. But I didn't test that. I don't even know how to do that, so I left it. What it means is that all these small little copper markings that you can see down the line of the light, you can trim it at any of those points. As long as you trim it along those copper marks, then the light remains intact. So once you've got it cut to size, you can just trim it, which I thought was really cool. This is what it looks like with all the lights lined up and the doors back on. The wiring's still a mess on the top of the cabinets, but this is the test run. Now we move on to the really cool thing. I really enjoyed this part of doing it. This is all the lights are installed, everything's set up, and this is installing the switch and sort of doing the testing. The touch induction switch is really cool. I thought you kind of stick it to the inside, and as long as the wood is less than 4 centimeters, I think it said it on the website when I bought it from what the depth was, you can actually touch it from the outside. You get a little sticker in the set, so you can stick it to the outside. You know exactly where it is that you need to touch, but you hold it down to dim, and then you just press it once to turn it on, or press it once to turn it off. But I thought that was fantastic. I really enjoyed this part of it, and it was quite satisfying to know you was right near the end. And if you notice that the bookcases in the corner, the doors don't line up, that's nothing to do with the bookcases, that's just the shape of this room. Sadly, it's not a perfect square in the corner, so the doors are ever so slightly out, so they do overlap on the front. There's nothing I can do about that. Let me tell you, this all felt very worth it when I had all the Lego back in and everything was lit up and it was slightly dark in the room. It looked absolutely fantastic. It's exactly how I sort of imagined it before I started the project and what I wanted it to look like. So yeah, I was really, really pleased with the final result. I think in total it cost me less than 40 quid from the whole light setup and the little multi-adapter that I needed. Probably took me around maybe 4 hours, I think, to do the whole lot, and that includes removing all the Lego out of it, pulling it from the walls and drilling the holes and stuff. I actually think assembling the bookcases themselves from flat pack probably took me a lot longer to do. Really satisfactory job, love doing it. And all the sort of the cablings at the top, I've just kind of chucked them down the back where you can't see them, and I sellotaped what was the remaining cables at the top there just to make sure they don't get caught on anything or snagged if I decide to put anything up there. Just some answers some of the questions I've been getting. These are Ikea Billy bookcases. It's a standard Billy 80 centimetre one and a corner Billy unit I've got, and then the doors are called Oxberg. I think that's what they're called, and obviously I needed 5 of those for the units. I ended up using 5 strips of the lighting, 2 on the main unit and then 1 each on the other 3. 1 5-metre strip was enough to do a whole lap of the individual bookcases, but it wouldn't do it on the double bookcase, sadly. I absolutely love Lego. I think it's a really nice way of relieving stress, and I find it really relaxing just to sort of chill out and build, listen to an audiobook, and just, yeah, I've always found it really nice and relaxing. I've got all the sets you can see on display here, plus a couple of 100 more. I was planning to do little reviews on some of the sets I was building, just little 5-minute shorts or little 5-minute reviews on what it was like to build, how it compares to other sets I've got, and I always like a bargain. It's the Yorkshireman in me, so all of my sets are on either deals or offers or discounts. Very, very rarely pay full price for a Lego set. I usually try and get them sort of 20% off if I can. 30% off is like the golden number. If I can get 30% off, I'll be over the moon. But yeah, I was tempted to do little tutorials and little reviews, so if anybody would be interested in those, please subscribe. And thank you for listening. Any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much.